Hello and welcome. I am so excited you decided to join me today. I am your teacher here, Monta Monique at Move Over Mozart, offering traditional music lessons for today's learner. So whether you are a new beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced student, or if you're just someone who's coming back to music after a long time away because you love music. Now, for today's lesson, we will be exploring the steps between the notes C, D, and E. After today's lesson, once you have learned the skips between the notes C, D, and E, you can apply this to your piano playing, your composing, or whatever you want to achieve in your musical life. But what I really want you to take away from today's lesson is this. I really want you to be excited about learning something new. So if you're excited to learn something new, let me know right now over in the comments section below. Or you can always instant message me over on Instagram. We are at #moveovermozart.com. And if you're a part of the Move Over Mozart family, we have an online space over on Flipgrid where you can share your musical ideas, you can post your latest performances, you can ask questions. It's a really great platform to share what you're learning in music. So you're probably watching this video because you want to learn about music. But on a higher level, as adult learners or as parents, we want to expand our children's critical and creative thinking skills. And music helps us to learn how to analyze and take responsibility on very complex problems. So a great way to develop your child's critical and creative thinking skills is through music. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to identify steps on the keyboard. We will also be learning how to play those steps on the keyboard. And finally, we're going to be learning the song Merrily We Roll Along. Now, if you remember back to one of our previous lessons, we had started to learn the 7 letters in the music alphabet. And those numbers were A, B, D, E, E, F, and G. Now, I have a 2-part challenge for you in this lesson. The first challenge is, can you identify where the notes step up or down or repeat? The second part of the challenge I have for you today is, can you move your fingers to the group of 3 black keys and play the same song in a new position on the piano? Now, if you're ready to begin this lesson with me, just go grab a blank piece of paper, or you can find the link to the book that we use here at Move Over Mozart in the description box below. I want to know what you know, so make sure you share with me. Now, let's have a look and see, what do these skips look like? Grab your pencil, and if you have your colored pencils handy, go ahead and grab those too, because we are going to be referring to our music color palette. And if you haven't watched the video on music color palette, I suggest that you pause this video right here, watch that first and come back. That way you'll understand why we are using the colors we're using. All right, let's get into the lesson. So the first thing we want to talk about are steps. Now, these are not the kinds of steps that you walk up to go, say, to the 2nd floor of your house, or the kind of step where, let's say, you're exercising and you take steps. These are steps on the keyboard. And when we take a step, that means that we move from one key on the piano to the next. Or you can think about it as moving from one finger to the next, or from one letter to the next. So let's take a look here. Now, I'm going to use my blue pencil. You can use any color pencil you want at this point. I want to draw your attention to where we are going to find the keys on the piano. So there are going to be 3 keys that we're focusing on today. And the first set of keys are the notes C, D, and E. Now, if you watched the other video, you'll remember we found where the notes C, D, and E were located on our piano. Now, the other set of 3 notes that we're going to be looking at in terms of steps are in the left hand, and the same notes are C, D, and E. Now, let's look at the song Merrily We Roll Along. Now, this might be a song that you're familiar with, but have you ever played this song on the piano? All right, now the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the notes. Now, let's go ahead and grab our red pencil, and if I'm moving too fast for you, pause the video here and go and grab your pencils and come back. All right, so we know that with our red pencil, we're going to be circling the number 2. So before we do that, actually, let's go back and I'm going to grab my regular black pencil, and we are going to write the numbers above the notes that we're going to play. So let's see. Let's start with, they've written a 4, a 3, and a 2, and a 3 for us. Now we know we're going to play the note E with our 4th finger. So write a 4 above the E. And now we have a repeated note. So you have the option to write the number 4 again or not. It's totally up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now the next note we have is a D, and for the D we're going to play the number 2. That means we're going to use our 2nd finger. Again, we have repeated notes. You can write the number 2, and again, you don't have to, do what works for you. And then we move back up again to the note E, and we're going to use which finger? If you said the 4th finger, you're correct. So let's put 4th finger there. All right, now that is all the finger numbers for our right hand. Now, let's move down to the 2nd line. Now we're going to be looking at the finger numbers for our left hand. So you can see they've written for us the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 3. Now let's go ahead and write in the finger numbers for the E, for our left hand. So for the E, we're going to play the E with the 2. Same thing as in the right hand, it repeats. So if you would like to write the number 2 in for every E, please do. Now we have the note D, and for D we have to use the 3rd finger. So write a 3 and a 3. Now we have the note E again, and for the note E we use the finger 2. And for D, we're going to write the number 3, and then they have the note C, which is going to be our 4th finger. All right, now let's grab our colored pencils, and let's start with the red pencil. And what you need to do right now is you are going to circle all of the number 2s red. Okay, so now we have all of our number 2 circled red. Now let's go grab our yellow pencil, and I've got a nice bright yellow here. Now for the yellow, we're going to circle all of the number 3s. So there's a 3, and if you, let's see, okay, so that's everything for our right hand for the number 3. Now the last color we need to grab is our green pencil, and let's go ahead and let's grab a nice green pencil here. Now we're going to circle all of the number 4s green. Now I'm using kind of a bright green, which I think is kind of fun, but if you have a dark green, that's fine as well. All the number 4s should be green. Now let's move to our left hand, and for the left hand they're starting with the finger number 2. So let's go back to our red pencil and let's circle all of the 2s red. And if I'm moving too fast for you, just pause the video and you can catch up. All right, now let's go ahead and grab our yellow pencil, and I have again a nice bright yellow. Now we're going to be circling the number 3s yellow. So find all the number 3s and circle those yellow. And finally, you know which color we're going to use next, don't you? We're going to use the green. So let's grab the green, and we're going to circle the number 4s green. Now, there's 2 things that I want to draw your attention to, and this is optional. You don't have to write a color for these, but I just want to draw your attention to something that you may or may not be as familiar with. So let's grab a nice blue pen here, just so we have a little variety. So the first thing we need to look at is the forte. Now you remember forte means loud. That means we're going to play forte for our right hand and our left hand. Now the other element that I want you to remember, and now if you watch the lesson on bar lines, you'll know what I'm talking about. So right here we have a double bar line, and that means the end of the piece. All right, now we know what our new song, Merrily We Roll Along, looks like. Now let's move over to the piano and hear what does that sound like. So you've just completed your lesson, and I want to tell you, a job well done. Learning a new instrument is not easy. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you'd like to share your music with me, that would be most exciting. All right, we'll see you at your next lesson.